Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of subscriber Rob. And what Rob has me doing here is a pretty aggressive Noble Hierarch and Ignoble Hierarch kind of Cascade Stompy deck. There are only 18 lands in this deck, which is a tiny number of lands, all things considered. Even Legacy Delver decks, that's a deck that plays Brainstorm, Ponder, Wasteland, Daze. Those decks frequently have 19 lands, and here we have a Modern deck with only 18. So this is pretty bold deck building. And Rob assured me when we were talking about this deck that it works and leave it alone, basically. I think he correctly identified that my first thing I would want to do is add a bunch more lands to this deck, but I'm going to trust him and play it as submitted to me. The one concern I have about the mana base, outside of obviously being not very many lands, is there's 2 Triomes here, and I don't think we're going to be just sitting around with 3 mana to cycle a Triome very often, and if I ever have like a 1-lander and it's Triome instead of something that casts my Hierarchs, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. But I am going to let it ride. And we'll just keep track of these Triomes, because there's only 18 lands in the deck, and only... okay, so 18, 17, 16, 14, 13, 12. Only 12 of them cast our Hierarchs. Yeah, so there's only 12 ways to cast Noble Hierarch on turn 1 in this Hierarch deck, which I think even if you want to run the low land count, I think you want more turn 1 green sources, but I am going to trust what's going on here for now, and we'll revisit this at the end, see how it actually played out. Mana base aside, what this deck's trying to do is, it's a Shardless Agent deck. It's just trying to cast Shardless Agent early and often, get ahead, and then stay there with grindy planeswalkers and removal and just punch through. With the mana acceleration available in the deck, Jace the Mind Sculptor could show up on turn 3, or whenever you draw it, you'll probably be ahead enough that it can hang out from the back. And what I mean by that is a lot of control decks try to answer everything the opponent is doing and then stick a Jace to carry the game by himself. What this deck's trying to do is it's going to have Tarmogoyf in play, it's going to have some Hierarchs, maybe some Quaddles, maybe Liliana's already doing some work, and then Jace will show up, and while their opponent's resources are already stretched dealing with all the other stuff, Jace is going to pull back into the game. So that's a pretty cool game plan. It's completely different than a control deck. This is very much a mid-range deck. The other crazy thing that's going on here is there are 2 Bring Delights and 2 Valki God of Lies. Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter, obviously an insanely powerful thing. It's a 7-mana planeswalker. They had to change the rules so you couldn't cascade into it anymore, but you could still Bring Delight into it. You cast Bring Delight, search a library for a creature with converted mana value less than or equal to the number of colors spent to cast the spell, and then you may cast that card. So you put 2 colors into Bring Delight, you choose Valki, but then you cast Tibalt. When the game lets you cast the spell, you can cast the backside. Unfortunately, you can't cascade into it anymore. Unfortunate for this deck, it's fortunate for Magic. But you could still have a turn 3 Tibalt, technically, in this deck. It could happen. And between the Ignoble Hierarch, the Ketria Triome, there are actually red sources to hardcast Tibalt if the game somehow gets super grindy, and we have 7 mana in this 18-lander. We'll see. This is the like insane mana base aside, this is just a mid-range bug deck with a lot of interactive elements, and the games could get really interesting as a result of all of that. In the sideboard, we had a color. Rob did say that he would understand if I cut the Stomping Ground and 2 Klothys. These are the only red cards. There's 2 Klothys and a Stomping Ground to make it castable. Rob said he'd understand if I cut this for different sideboard cards, but it has been really good for him in grindy matchups. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to run with it. Got a Fracturing Gust for the Saga and Enchantment decks. And you can actually bring to light for Fracturing Gust because your lands make 4 colors with the red triome. Ignoble Hierarch makes red, Noble Hierarch makes white. So you can actually bring to light for 5 and find Fracturing Gust if you need it. 3 Endurance, that helps against the Living Ends and that sort of deck. Plague Engineer, just good against creatures. And a couple of counter spells. I love this Fun of Ancestral Vision for if you expect the match to get grindy, just really dig in and draw 3 cards. Cool stuff. Really cool deck, really innovative deck building, really bold deck building. Let's see if it gets rewarded. We are on the draw in round number 1, and one of the pieces of advice that Rob gave me was don't expect to draw another land after your opening hand. Like, don't keep Sketchers on the, like, don't keep a 6 land, 1 lander, or 6 card 1 lander and like hope to get there, because you just won't. So I'm doing the opposite. I'm keeping a hand with 5 mana sources and hoping to draw spells, which this deck is pretty good at doing, due to all of the things that we discussed at length in the deck about the mana base. I expect they'll take my Inquisition here. Yeah, that is what they did. And I'm just going to get my Hierarch in off this basic. Of course, I draw another land. We appear to be playing against some sort of non-Lurrus Jund deck. So it's not Shadow. They could Wrenn in 6 and just send me into the grave here. Okay, luckily that was not Wrenn. Jason the Mind Sculptor is not a card that they are prepared to see right now. This might be a fetch a Triome game. I would very much like my Hierarch to survive so I can put Jace into play. Jace is historically pretty good against Jund decks. I can take 2 from this Tarmogoyf beatdown. Bolted my fella. I'm not going to trophy in response, though it does make Tarmogoyf real big. Oh, they let damage resolve before they did that. Weird. They just missed 2 damage. Alright, my Jace is gone. They are down to 1 card in hand, though. If I draw Shardless Agent right now, or like something that kills Tarmogoyf, we could actually be in business. I guess I am literally holding something that kills Tarmogoyf. My own Tarmogoyf is a pretty cool thing to find. I think I want to play the Overgrown Tomb tapped and then my own Tarmogoyf. I don't really want to play from behind and like trophy their Tarmogoyf, get them up to 4 mana where they could start Bloodbraid Elfing me or whatever the fuck. So, I'm just going to put my own animal into play here. Okay. And if they answer it, then they're hellbent. Okay, they are empty. They can draw a card with Nurturing Peatland. Tarmogoyf puts me to 12. Nice. Okay, now I don't have to cast this trophy. Push this into the pit. And now we're in a top deck war where I have... Okay, so they played... They either have a 4-drop in their hand, a removal spell, or a land. I don't think this is getting better. It's a land, okay. Good to know. I will play my other land. I guess this lets something like Kroxa hit me, which I didn't need to let happen. But okay. Bloodstained Mire. I can fetch the other Triome or just leave it in my deck. I think I'm going to leave it in my deck. So, this might be a game where we cast Valki. I don't think that's the play, though. I'm going to get Watery Grave tapped. And then should probably fetch here, too. Because I just don't want to draw lands. Yeah, I'll thin it out. And I have triple black. I have triple green. I have double blue. I think black is still the color I just want the most of. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, there's Valki, which just isn't going to get to Tibalt. So I'm going to just cast it. Check their hand again. Verdant Catacombs, okay. And now I have something on the board. It's not huge, but it's something. And I have no regrets for fetching the not Triome. Just hitting 2 more land drops while hoping they never draw a discard spell or pressure of any kind isn't a real plan. And just having a 2-power creature in play goes a lot farther. Yuck. Okay. That was a really good draw. Just reload the hand. Even if I kill this, it's still 2 things. Use Valky now. Do I want to send the fire in the trophy? I think I'm going to hold off. Cool. All right. Liliana. Black, black, black. I can kill their Liliana and make them discard their last card. Or I could hit Seasoned Pyromancer and then make them discard. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Black, green. Take out their creature, get their last card. They can exile the Pyromancer to make 2 1/1s, but my Liliana is ahead of their Liliana right now, which is historically pretty important for the Jund mirror, which functionally this is. Obviously, we have a different splash color, but this is a black-green X mirror. Hitting Grist was a big deal. That's a powerful card. Bolting my face is the play. Bummer. This means I don't get to plus my Lily, because I do need to react to their old Pyromancer leaving the graveyard. Make 2 tokens, you got it. Each player discards a card. Fatal Push in response. They should probably attack me, I would think. Yeah, I'm at 4. Armagoyf, that's gonna die to Liliana. But, alright. Back to top deck mode. Bring Delight off the top ends this game, because I just get Tibalt. But I am at 4 to their 11. My Liliana's on 2 counters to their 1 counter, which is another subgame that's going on. Pass the turn. Alright, I'm not going to Thoughtseize, because Liliana plussing does the same thing. Okay. Their Liliana will go back up to 2 here, but if they drew any reactive spell, they didn't. Alright. Just a land. Come on, Bring Delight. Waddle's pretty cool. Blue-green. 2-for-1s are what we're looking for here. Just trying to pull back into this game. Ah, fuck. Damn it. Alright, let's see if they respect my Coatl. I'm not gonna plus myself here. Bummer. If these were drawn in the other order, we would have won this game on the spot, but now they're gonna have a chance to interact. Oh, they drew Fatal Push, damn it. Okay. They don't even have to use their Liliana. Didn't even think about it, just got the easy play. Okay, let's go. Shardless Agent, that's a banger. Armagoyf, yep. 2 creatures insulated against Liliana. They minus, they get to eat Shardless Agent, then I get to crunch with Goyf. I need to fade draws like Seasoned Pyromancer. That's the kind of thing that'll kill me. Bloodbraid Elf, pretty scary as well. They minus Lily. They have Wrenn. They're going to try to race me, like ping my face. Pick up Nurturing Peatland. That makes way more sense than what I just said. They Wrenn in 6th into Nurturing Peatland, drew a card, and it was Seasoned Pyromancer. Fuck my life. And they found Abrupt Decay. Great. Alright, yeah, now we're dead. Yeah, Bring Delight happened in the wrong order. I'm going to attack Wrenn in 6. I'm not actually worried about Liliana right now. She doesn't do anything. I might as well play this Vista because their Liliana's going to plus, but I'm probably just dead here. That was back and forth for a while. They hit their top decks better than I did, which is what the matchup's about. Like, I'm not saying, like, they top deck me. It's just literally the Liliana mirrors. These decks are both kind of built to top deck, and they just did a little better job than I did. K command for lethal. You got it. I'm dead. Okay. A Liliana mirror. This is something where Klothys comes in, for sure. This one is going to grind. I don't think I want the Rug Triome if I'm bringing in Stomping Ground. I think this is my red source now, and I just want my mana to be functional. Thoughtseize is pretty bad when we're expecting a top deck war. I don't mind Inquisition early, but I don't really like this. I like Ancestral Vision a lot. I'm going to shave an Inquisition on that one. I like all my Planeswalkers, like all my removal and 2-for-1s. Don't like counter spells, because if we're going to be playing from Hellbent, it just doesn't do what I need it to. think Endurance being a flash threat. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go off discard entirely and play my bangers. I think I like this. I could bring in Engineered Explosives. We've seen Tarmogoyf and Ren and 6 on 2. When I have Tarmogoyf and Ice Fang Quaddle on 2. Ren and 6 is actually a problem that I should play an answer to. What would I cut if I bring in explosives? But also just pressure Ren. Okay, I'm gonna try to just pressure the Ren and not bring in Engineered Explosives. See how that works. On the play, it might be fine. I might need some discard spells on the draw. This hand is pretty good. I'm gonna keep it. It's got the mana. Oh, it's goal number 1. Ignoble Hierarch, get in. And since we're on the play, they'll have to decide to interact with my Hierarch or my hand. They don't get to do both. Like, when I'm on the draw, they get to, like, end step bolt, untap, Thoughtseize me, or just Ren and 6, kill my Hierarch. Much worse. I believe the play is Misty Rainforest and pass the turn. Because if they go, like, fetch Ren and 6, I want to be able to drown it. They didn't fetch Liliana. I can't interact with that. Each player discards card. Okay, cool. Do I want to try to work up? I mean, Liliana's dead. I have an exalted 3-power attack here. Do I want to try to work up to Bring Delight or discard Bring Delight and hit my land drops? Because I can end step Endurance, kill Liliana, and then cast Tarmogoyf, hold up, drown in the lock. Yeah, I think I just discard Bring Delight. Out of here. And I think that I don't use Endurance, or I use it on myself. I get Basic Island here. That cast any spells? That casts the Drown. I think I do want Basic Island. Start getting my snow count up. Endurance, target myself. Get Bring Delight back in the deck. Through a land. Got Liliana. Exalted 3-4, not bad. Damn Tarmogoyf and have Drown in the Lock up. Encounter a 3-cost card. Your own Tarmogoyf. I can kill that as well as I can counter it, so I don't really need to react right away. I also have it beat in combat, so maybe I just don't need to do anything. I can fetch Priam in the end step. Have my mana perfect. Nice. Alright. I can Shardless Agent. I think I want basic Swamp here. Green, blue, colorless. Shardless Agent. Another Tarmogoyf. Yep. Let's go. I'm going to attack with my Tarmogoyf. I have Exalted, so it beats their Tarmogoyf. And if they have, like, Lightning Bolt or something to try to finish off mine, I have Drown. I don't need to just aggro Drown this thing. I might do it next turn to get a giant attack in with all my creatures, but their deck caps out at 4 drops, and I can currently Drown for 4. Ignoble Hierarch, you got it. Also not just spewing off this Drown plays around a potential Veil of Summer. A command to kill 2 things. I could just let this happen. That grows the Tarmogoyf. I can kill their Goyf and then mush with my squad. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can just attack for 13 next turn. I kill Goyf. Black, blue. They just conceded. They know they're not coming back from that. Patience, patience, patience. Okay, I couldn't cast it anyway. Okay. Do I want discard spells for a potential answer to turn 2 Ren and 6? Because if they go land and I play Hierarch and they play Ren and 6, I'm dead. Like, that's just a beating for the ages. Maybe I need to be slimmer on Hierarchs in general, but this deck really doesn't do what it needs to do. Like, it's counting on these Hierarchs as part of its mana base. It's not like regular Jund plays like 24 or 25 lands plus 4 Hierarchs, and it's like you can board them out if they're bad, you still have plenty of lands, but that is not the case here. If I am going to try to fight Ren and 6, would I rather do it with Engineered Explosives or with discard? I could also just ignore it, try to beat it. I do have Assassin's Trophy in the deck, and ways to pressure it. Endurance can keep the lands from looping, but the Hierarchs are just so bad along the way. I think I want some explosives in the deck over the two. Ignoble is important. Two Noble Hierarchs. Black's more important than more green. Oh wait, I said one thing and did the other. I'm trying to cut Noble Hierarchs. I want Ignoble Hierarchs in the deck. Yeah, white and blue are both goofball colors, but black and red, or black is important and red does play. I guess blue is a little bit important with the Shardless Agents and the Waddles. Yeah, white is completely irrelevant and red is mostly irrelevant. But the Klothys is in now. Yeah, definitely Ignoble Hierarch is the one that you want the max of. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Got there eventually. I'm scared of exactly Ren and 6. The rest of their deck we can play pretty fair magic against, and I think my Shardless Agents and Klothys are pretty good against it. But alright, here's one of those hands that Rob warned me about. I'm not going to keep this because that's the type of hand I would keep in a normal deck, or with a normal mana base, and just hope to draw another land. But that's not what I get to do here. I could send... I think I'm going to send Tarmogoyf. The rest of these are all 2-for-1s, and I want to make sure I have my lands, so I'm going to send Tarmogoyf as just the 1-for-1 card in this hand. Verdant Catacombs for Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Play my Misty Rainforest and pass. It's weird how it feels both good and bad to not have a Hierarch right now. Oh, they don't have a land at all right now. I'm going to get Triome. Just really make sure I'm set up. I like Prismatic Vista. That lets me start getting my snow count up. Goyf can attack for 2, including the Exalted right now. Scary stuff. Having double Liliana is pretty sick too. That means I can eat the Hierarch, let it die, and then eat the Goyf. Okay. We're just wide on Goyfs right now. I have to get Forest or Island here. I'm going to get Forest. There's more green cards than blue ones. Here's Coatl. I think I should Shardless Agent and not Liliana here. So Lily is interesting in that will probably... I don't think they can sack the Hierarch. I think she will get a Tarmogoyf. And then I'll get to block, but I assume their hand has removal because what else would be in it? I'm going to fetch a basic island, just work on my snow count, and cast Shardless Agent. If Shardless Agent hits a Coatl, then they'll both have Death Touch. Whoa, Ancestral Vision, don't mind if I do. Unfortunately, going to have to go to hand size, discard to hand size here, but that's alright. Worth it. There is not a dead creature right now, but if I discard Hierarch, that will grow Tarmogoyf. I don't think I need Breeding Pool. Like, I am good on mana right now. I do want the Verdant Catacombs. That's a source of snow for Icefang Coatl. I can fetch Snow Basic Swamp. Alright, didn't matter. I'm not going to chump block a Tarmogoyf and grow the Tarmogoyfs along the way. So Snow Basic Swamp. My life total is really low right now. Gonna get Liliana in, have them sack, see how all in they want to go. Alright, they are all in on the Goyfs right now. And not attack. Goyf is 4-5. Uh-oh, they found red. Do they mess with Liliana or just go face? If I block, I can drown one, Liliana the other. If I block one, leave my Hierarch, then I can play Liliana and drown their Lightning Bolt. I just really don't want to be in bolt range. I lose if they have another Hierarch if I double block, or chump though. And I'll be at exactly 4 if I clear the board. Okay. I'm going to block. I just don't want to lose to bolt, which seems like an extremely likely card for them to have right now. Plus Liliana. I'm going to discard Verdant Catacombs because I'm not going to be able to crack it for the entire game. I'm playing around bolt. Go to 4. 1, 2, 3. Liliana. Keep the new one. Goyf. Okay. Here we are. There are 4 spells in their hand versus my Liliana and 2 Hierarchs. Roxa. Okay. Discard Noble Hierarch. At least they don't take damage from that. They find a red source, Kroxa comes back into play though. That was obviously a great draw. Always happy to see that one. Whoa, Valky. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the thing I want it to do anymore. I'll take your Seasoned Pyromancer, please and thank you. And they have Trophy and Liliana over there. Seasoned Pyromancer, Shardless Agent, Ignoble Hierarch, plus Liliana. They sack their own Liliana. Okay. Here we are. I'm ahead on board, but they have Crocs in their graveyard. They have Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay, they just... Or, no, I took their Seasoned Pyromancer, but they just got it back with Wrenn. I'm gonna kill the Wrenn. And I just have to plus Liliana here. Lose my Fatal Push. It's fine. There aren't many reactive cards left in the deck. Kind of unfortunate we drew in there, but whatever. Assassin's Trophy is their last card in hand. Basically need them to not find a red source right away. They did. Okay, here. Oh, they didn't chalk it in and play Croc, so what are they doing? What are they doing? That was it. Oh, now they're done. Cool. All right. I'm gonna attack with my Shardless Agent, and then I'll play Endurance, second main. If I plus Liliana, would they cast their Assassin's Trophy? I don't know. Here's Endurance. That was a sweet relief. Really glad they didn't throw Crocs into play last turn. And let's both discard a card. They have to Trophy now. They'll probably hit the Endurance. Okay, they went after Liliana. Fair. Do I want black or green men off of this? Probably black. Okay, they're empty. If they draw a land, they can attack with Raging Ravine, and I have to chump. Drew with Nurturing Peatland, and they have Clothis. Shit. Well, I have my own Clothis. The race is on. Hello. They might have Bloodbraid Elf. Oh, they have Raging Ravine in play right now. So I am just going to attack with Endurance. Because if I attack with everything, and... Like, if I attack with everything, and they use Clothis to make mana, they can activate Raging Ravine and kill me. My opponent just complained about my top decks in the chat. Like, were you here for game one? This is the matchup. Welcome to it. Okay. Okay, yeah. So they top decked runners while complaining about my top decks. Like, that's just the matchup. It sucks that we fell a little short here, but that was very close. And that felt like some classic, like 2012 Modern. This is what people did all the time in Modern, just Jund mirrors. And yeah, it just came a little short. Next round. On the draw in the second round with a one-lander that only casts Ignoble Hierarch, which doesn't make black. This is a mulligan. Yikes. Okay. I'll keep this one, and I'm going to send Prismatic Vista. And do I want a Thoughtseize to protect myself up the curve, or do I want to just, like, Goyf Agent? I feel like Thoughtseize is probably important. In that case, do I bottom the land or the Goyf? I think it's Goyf. Yeah, Goyf is the most replaceable card in this hand. It's just a creature. Oh, good. We're playing against Affinity. First, I was going to say Infect, but really that's not the case with Vault Scourge. Ignoble Hierarch changes things. I'm just going for the turn 2 Shardless Agent. Try to pull ahead this mulligan. Like actual factual Vault Scourge Affinity. We are playing just 2012 Modern in this league. It's pretty cool. Having Shardless Agent in 2012 Modern is a pretty big upgrade. I could Valky and Thoughtseize them, set up a Shardless Agent for next turn. That actually sounds reasonable. Let's Thoughtseize first to make sure there's actually a creature to take. Okay, there's a Ravager and a Frogmite. I'm going to take Shadow Spear. Or no, I don't care about Shadow Spear. The creature already has lifelink. I'm going to take Frogmite, and then I'm going to Valky their Ravager. And a Shadow Spear and Glimmer Void. Okay. Drawing Saga off the top's pretty strong here, after I just spend a turn clearing your hand. Fracturing Gust in the sideboard's going to be pretty exciting. Attack for 4 lifelink right now. 5 lifelink. get that extra point in by activating the Ink Moth. Puts an artifact onto the board. I could Agent here and try to do two things. Try to find a removal spell, try to get on board. I think that Agent's better than Goyf, because we're not really damage racing. Not against this giant lifelink thing. Yeah, looking for the removal spell, I like that a lot. I think that we're going to lose this game, but did what I could. Yeah, that Saga draw was so busto. Getting two more giant creatures that can keep picking up these weapons and tutoring up whatever. That was the turn they were tapped out of Inkmoth Nexus as well, so I could, like, Liliana could actually killed something. But now I think we're past that point. Making a construct in their main phase, that gives them an extra point on their cranial plating, which is lethal next turn. They're attacking me to 6 right now, and then they get 2 more artifacts next turn. Or they're attacking me to 5 right now. It was already a 2-turn clock, but they're just locking it in. Dagoth Triumph. Okay. Is it time for the cycling to pay off? I want to leave up blue in case I find... Oh, wait. I need to tap Noble Hierarch here. Or no, I have Noble and Ignoble Hierarchs. I am going to tap my lands. Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, I just died to their flyers there. Where is this freaking Saga? Though I think we were going to lose to that Vault Scourge anyway. I like Fracturing Gust, of course. Engineered Explosives can clear out the constructs and stuff. Plague Engineer is interesting. There are a lot of X1s in this deck. Endurance is just a body, which is important. I might cut the Bring Delight and the Valky package in this matchup. Because Valky's low impact on his own, and Bring Delight... Oh, Bring Delight can get Fracturing Gust if I have all my Hierarchs in play. Right, I don't think I'm going to play to that. Liliana the Last Hope is insane in this matchup. Fatal Push is good. I think I'm going to cut Thoughtseize and maybe a Noble Hierarch. I still need to be pulling ahead on mana, at least some amount, but I don't know if I need all 8 of them, especially if Engineered Explosives is part of my plan. Inquisition. I think Inquisition is fine. Maybe I go down to 1 more or 1 less. Okay. I'm going to do this. No lander. This is a keep. I'm going to send... I think it's a Hierarch. Lands are going to be solid, and I have this Explosives, which might end up clearing my Hierarchs. If I send... It doesn't matter. Both Hierarchs allow me to Shardless Agent on 2. I'm going to send the Noble and keep the Ignoble because black is really important. I just have to fetch a blue source with my fetch land. It's pretty cool that cascading into Explosives for 0 is just a playable thing. I might just do it, though. Okay, I'll blast. Okay. Alright, I'm definitely going to Explosives for 0 if this is your play. Bobbled me in the upkeep. They see Fatal Push. Disappointing. Here's this. I'm going to blow it now because we did see Frogmite and like actual affinity cards in their deck. And if they don't have artifacts, this doesn't tap for colors. I don't know how important that is. Oh, they just did nothing and shipped it. That's what we're looking for. Engineered Explosives. Good. I believe I want Watery Grave here. That gets me double black and the first blue. Agent. Hitting Inquisition of Kozilek. Hell yeah. This is going pretty well. Okay, a Ravager. I'm taking Ravager. They can't cast this Galvanic Blast anyway. Look, they did have Frogmite in hand. They do have multiple actual affinity cards in hand. They can't cast the Galv Blast because Spire's not on. Yeah, good try. Tap it again. They just floated Colorless and then Shame untapped. Yeah, that main phase Explosives was huge. Okay, they can get red mana here by activating the Inkmoth Nexus and then blasting my agent. Cool. I can Ignoble Hierarch and then hold up Drown in the lock and get an extra point of damage in here. I'm not going to counter the Galvanic Blast, no matter what they pointed at. This Drown is going to be pretty good at keeping Frogmite out of play or just keeping them off affinity. Okay, they didn't use the Galv Blast. Alright, Saga's the type of card that can really get them back in this. They still can't cast any of the things in their hand. But we are going to get like 3 for 1 by this Saga. Trophy. Good stuff. I think I'll trophy the Saga in their upkeep. No, I'm going to stop in their draw step. Because that way, that is one less... it's possible that they lose... they drew a basic land there. Gives them a turn... one extra draw step to find basic land, which I imagine they don't play a lot of, if any. I'm still holding up Drown, but I can take out the Saga. Okay, yep. They either don't have a basic or it's in their hand. Okay, they don't have a basic. We know their whole hand right now. Brago. Yeah, that's fine. I can be down through that. In with Shardless Agent, take another 3. Tarmogoyf is a thick friend who's arriving. There's an enchantment and artifact, plus all the normal stuff in the graveyard. He's a 6/7. What a twist. There's Memnite, that's fine. They know about Fatal Push in my hand from their Mishra's Bauble on turn 1. So it's going to be hard to like trick them into losing Metalcraft on Galvanic Blast or anything. They were 1 mana short of a Thought Monitor there. Okay. Got over the finish line on that one. On the draw is Bring to Light more interesting. Like, am I going to need a giant catch-up banger like that, or do I just want to have it in my deck to draw to sometimes? Because you really do need Ignoble Hierarch in play. There is no other source of white. Yeah, that's just not a real thing that's going to happen. So I'm not going to do it. Playing the same deck again. I could bring in another Inquisition on the draw, try to get ahead of the Ravager, the Plating, etc. Now that we've seen Memnite, Plague Engineer is even more exciting. We've also seen Thought Monitor though, so maybe Thought Seize is where I want to be. Mystical Dispute is pretty cool on that too. I think I'm just going to try to control the board and keep them off the 8 mana for Thought Monitor. 1 lander with a pile of Hierarchs and no real sideboard or removal. Uh-oh. We're going to be going to 5 here. Opponent's also on 6 though. Okay, I can keep this one for sure. Send the Tarmogoyf, and I believe there are 2 basic swamps, so I can actually get this Liliana in. Is Liliana better than Tarmogoyf? I think I have to send a land, though. Yeah, I think I just have to, like, make this work on the... Alright, yeah. I have to keep the spells. Like, Fatal Push into Tarmogoyf is just a reasonable thing to be doing anyway. And the deck has lands in it, believe it or not. I immediately drew a blue card when I have no blue sources. Tough start. Do I want to kill this Scourge? I don't think so. Springleaf Drum. I could kill Scourge now. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I like it. At least don't let them ramp on it. Extremely interested in lands. Oh, that's not lands, it's just a big Tarmogoyf. Rob was not kidding. This deck doesn't draw lands. They have a Memnite. That was their draw for the turn. If they had it last turn, I think they would have played it. Fetch Champion. That's a good card. Easy money. I'm going to fetch the Watery Grave. It gets me my blue, gets me my double black. Then I'm going to Shardless Agent. Ace Fang Coatl. Cool. First time I've done that. No reason to attack because my opponent's card has protection from all the colors. I need to remove the Memnite and Liliana this thing, or find my Fracturing Gust and just plow through it. They got to be taken off Metalcraft before I can deal with it. Alright, now it doesn't matter. They're going to have Metalcraft even if this is the only creature they have. So I have to clear the Memnite and use Liliana. Thought Monitor, a big one. Ornithopter, okay. In the market for Fracturing Gust. Dagoth Triome. I can... Okay, their protection creature is tapped, so attacking here is reasonable. I do have an attack. Alright, they're trading off material. I'm pretty okay with that situation. I think... Do I fetch basic? Can I afford to fetch basic? I don't think that I can. I think I have to get Breeding Pool. I'm going to get Breeding Pool. The snakes can turn each other on. So, blue, green, and this leaves all the colors. I'm doing this now because there are 2-drops in my deck that I would want to play on my own turn. Thought Monitor is terrifying. Now I'm just hoping that they hit the air in their deck. Like if they find Ravager or Cranial Plating, that's terrible. If they just find like more Memnites and shit, it's fine. Checking with Memnite. What a twist. Yeah, I'm just gonna take any material off the board that I can. Let's see if they wanna block here. I'm gonna see if I can trick them into making a block that trades off the board and just try to ride or die on. They're keeping their Ornithopter around. I'll get Death Touch. Time for Welding Jar. They are welding that. Okay. Liliana at this point just eats Ornithopter. If I don't Liliana, I take 4, but the Goyf is still smashing. I'm gonna cycle and just save Liliana, see if I can do better. Oh yeah. Back up Goyf. Don't draw Cranial Plating, go. Galvanic Blast is not lethal. 2 Galvanic Blast is lethal. Right, they're drawing cards with their land. That's good for me. Wow, they're just going for it. 2 4/5s, they're at 7. Oh, they have 2 blockers. Need a spell. Tell me what you're working with. Don't be Galv Blast. Shit, it's Galv Blast. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, their last card, I needed it not to be that. Because now, even if I attack, they block with both, I'm still dead. Etch Champion. Winning games like it's 2012. Guess I'll give them the chance to forget to attack. But look at that, even 1 more life point, I win this game. Because I don't necessarily win the game, but they have to draw something. Maybe they'll attack Liliana. Nope. They realized my life total was 2. Scrappy games, good games. The mull to 5 was rough there. This was a game where I mulled to 5. 2 more cards might have gotten me over the edge. Rough. All right, next round. Those are good games, though. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw, again, with a hand that can cast spells, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to see what they're doing before I decide what I'm doing. Like, I could just ram this Ignoble Hierarch into a Lava Dart, but I think it's fine. Like, I could have Inquisition first, see what they were doing, and then just curve up Goyfs and ignore the Hierarch, but the upside of this Hierarch sticks is just so good. Like, if I get to Inquisition, then Tarmogoyf next turn, okay. The old Scalding Tarn, Windswept Heath strategy. It has to be an Omnath deck. Let's find out. Inquisition you. Got some responses now, do you? Probably response is kill Ignoble Hierarch. Whoa. Use up to 2 target permanent cards in the graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Okay. Well, they just ramped up to 5 mana. I'm gonna die to Omnath right now. Oh, jeez. Okay. This rules. It's terrifying, but it rules. Brought back. I'll turn 2 brought back for the max. That works on Solitude also. That's really good. Really cool stuff. They can just already hardcast Solitude and then start flickering it. Oh, God. I'm going to need some help here. Brought back. Wow. I am blown away. This was the nut draw that people talked about during M20 spoiler season. They're like, oh, God, you could crack 2 fetch lands and just have 5 mana. But, wow. Never actually seen it happen. Okay, they drew to Fairy. Interesting. I would have hardcast Solitude there 100% of the time. Teferi turns off Bring to Light, so I'm going to have to attack with my Hierarch. And if they want to Solitude it, that's just fine. Okay. Solitude, pitching, Felidar Guardian has occurred. Alright, got it. This flickers a permanent, right? Yeah, okay, so this can flicker Teferi, reset Teferi, bounce another thing. Yeah, I think I should just kill Teferi. If they're going to 2-for-1 themselves to protect Teferi, I'm going to make sure that's gone. Their hand right now is Felidar Guardian mystery card. If I play Tarmogoyf that turn, they play Felidar Guardian, flicker Teferi, bounce my Goyf anyway, and the board looks the same. If their hand is Saheeli, they win right now. They can flicker a land and then play Saheeli, and then copy Guardian. Incredible. Okay. All right. If you haven't seen this combo, they use Felidar Guardian. They make a copy of it which flickers Saheeli, which is a new Saheeli, so she can copy Guardian again, and then they attack for a zillion. All right. Well, that went really poorly. I felt like our hand was good and we interacted really well. They just dumpstered. The hell do I do against this? I could Plague Engineer named Cat. That makes their combo not work. Mystical Dispute's going to be important here. Engineer Explosives on 3 could be an important thing. If they're a Teferi deck, I don't think I can do the Valky thing. Because Bring to Light just doesn't function with Teferi in play. Because Bring to Light makes you cast the card, but it makes you cast it as part of resolving Bring to Light. And you can't cast sorceries while you're resolving Bring to Light. So Teferi just straight up blanks this. Plague Engineer on Cat is good. Explosives on 3 is pretty good. Like if they have all these various planeswalkers, getting rid of them looks reasonable. Ancestral Vision doesn't work with Teferi in play. Cascade doesn't work with Teferi in play. It's a tough deck to play against Teferi with. I'm going to keep all of my discard spells. Fatal Push is unreliable. It doesn't hit Solitude ever. It doesn't hit the cat unless I can get Revolt. I think I just want more threats. That makes sense? Do I want more threats or do I want more answers to the combo? I think I just want more threats. My deck is pretty interactive already. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I've got the 1-lander with the Hierarch. Coatl can draw another card if I fetch Breeding Pool to cast this thing. I am gonna keep this. This is against medical advice, where Rob told me, don't keep hands hoping to draw more lands. But I think that against this Jeskai control deck, I have to take my chances. Breeding Pool or Hierarch. Hope they don't bolt my Hierarch. A weird looking Arid Mesa. Is this text showing up wrong? Isn't the text box supposed to look different? I don't know. That looks weird to me. Does that look weird to you? Did I make that up? Mystical Dispute, I think, is a next turn thing. I could jam Goyf. Or I think I should try to be drawing cards. Try to hit those land drops. Maybe I'm supposed to play Goyf this turn. Uh-oh. Maybe I'm supposed to play Goyf this turn and then hold up Mystical Dispute next turn and Coatl if they don't do what they're supposed to do. If they don't play something I need to counter. Oh, they also kept a 1-lander? Ha! Played perfectly. Unless this is like a Reanimator strat, where they're like, yeah, put Omnath in the graveyard. Wink, wink. Oh no, I missed my land drop. Wink, wink. Let's see what they're actually doing. Saheeli, 2 Brought-Backs. Felidar Guardian. I don't think I want to play against 2 Brought-Backs. And Saheeli is a card I can hit with Mystical Dispute, though Brought-Back doesn't do anything until they're doing stuff. Yeah, I'm going to take Saheeli. I have Endurance in my hand for Brought-Back. I'll figure that one out when it matters. Then I deploy my Goyf. Hope they don't draw a white source. Fade this turn. Fade this turn. No! Alright. And I played my green card. Damn it. Yeah, I sort of played the numbers there and lost the game. Let's hope that they just bring back 2 lands and don't do the whole Solitude thing. If they Solitude 2 creatures here, I don't think I can win the game ever. Nope, they figured it out. Switched one of their Brought-Backs. Let's see if they identify that my Hierarch is more important than my Coatl. Yeah, they figured it out. Alright, shit. That sucked. Well, Brought-Back and Solitude are out of the hand now. Ugh. I have 2 double black cards in my hand. No black source in sight. Showdown of the Scalds. I know this is a good standard card. I've never seen it. Exile top cards of your library. Until your next turn, you may play those cards. Whenever you cast a spell this turn, put a +1 counter on target creature. Okay. That's pretty nuts, though. Just hope they play Omnath instead of Showdown. Solitude has lifelink, so I'm not even racing right now. I'll hit what I can with Mystical Dispute. This clears the way for all their sick 4-drops next turn. Just gotta hope to fade, I guess. Alright, cool. I'll take a land. That can get Overgrown Tomb. and start me down the road to having black mana, and also eat this Solitude in combat through the land. I'm working with perfect information here. Fearlessly attacking. Overgrown Tomb is the one. I'll play Endurance. Hit their graveyard with it. Those cards out of here. Block. Now they can cast Omnath or Showdown. Felidar Sovereign blinking Showdown is insane. Their deck is so sweet. They go for Omnath. We have a window to draw land. Black land just kills the Omnath with Liliana. Any untapped mana source lets me start doing Jace stuff at least. Come on, black source. Alright, well, in some trouble. I am going to attack with Endurance. I gotta get damage onto the board here. And I have Exalted now, so I'm bigger than our Omnath. A Showdown gives them a bunch of hits to... I believe it's you can play the cards. Yeah, so you can play lands off Showdown. So they have a million hits to find a fetch land and go off with Omnath. If they find a fetch land, it gets to... They did find a fetch land, so they can use the Omnath mana to cast Felidar Guardian, which can draw more cards with Omnath, or deal 4 damage to me, or reset the Showdown. Insane. Because that's a Healy kill me? Not till next turn, right? I don't think they can get 4 mana again. Oh, they found a Teferi. Their one mystery card in hand was Teferi. That's bad. Alright. Black Source still plays here. Not a black source. I think I'm just dead, right? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Felidar Guardian blink. Yeah, they have the mana with Teferi protection to play Felidar, blink one of their lands, play Saheeli, copy Felidar, GG. I can only attack for 4. Like, Jace can bounce. And with Teferi, it's not even like I can brainstorm looking for... I guess I could brainstorm looking for a discard spell and clear the Felidar. That's how I win this game. And by win, I mean that's how I have any fucking chance at all in this game. Okay. That is the line. It's time to get it. Come on, Thoughtseize. No Thoughtseize to be found. Assassin's Trophy, no good. Still didn't find a black source for any of this. At least I get to kill Teferi or Omnath, but then just die. Yeah, their deck is really sick. Big fan of what they're doing over there. I took that risk early in this game. I could have just held up Endurance, not developed my board, and gotten a blowout on their brought back. But they had missed their land drops a million times in a row, and I don't know. I took the risk. And there are some lands in their deck that don't make white, so they had to draw a white source exactly that turn. Yeah, we're dead. GG's. Oh, I didn't even account for all the Omnath mana. I was dead without the Omnath mana. Next round's coming. I've won my first die roll of the league, but can't keep this one lander. There we go. Alright, I'm juiced up. Ready to go. Figure out where I'm going when I get there. I'm gonna keep this and send one of the Ignobles to the bottom. Opponent's on 5. Alright, keep going. I'll take an easy one. Not too proud. Maybe this is the mirror. I'm gonna ignore Snow basics and just go for stable mana here. I'm gonna start with Overgrown Tomb. Overgrown Tomb, Ignoble Hierarch. I don't think it matters which Hierarch I start on. I'll have all of my colors regardless. Opponent kept 5. A Prismatic Vista to start. Ancient Stirrings. Oh, okay. Your Tron? Or... oh, is this the Aspiring Spike Mono Green Eldrazi deck? That deck looked really cool. It totally is. Yeah, this is Aspiring Spike's Mono Green Eldrazi. For sure. Drown in the Lock just got a lot worse. This could be a good opponent to cast Valky against. Take a look at that hand. Yeah, let's have a peek. Valky, you got a Thought-Nuts here for me. Reality Smasher, I don't want that. Strangleroot Geist is pretty dope, though. If I turn Valky into that, then it will persist back as a 3-2, right? I think. I gotta get Breeding Pool here. Get my blue mana set up. Next turn I can Fatal Push and Drown in the Lock. plus attack for a bunch. Shep Oasis. Here comes Strangleroot Geist probably. East Undying. Let's go. I think should probably attack because it can't block Valky anyway. And if their plan involves Reality Smasher, they need to start smashing Reality sooner than later. Gonna get in with this. Turning it into Geist doesn't add any damage to the board. It's already a 2-1. So I'm just gonna leave up my other stuff here. Pretty worried about that Reality Smasher, not gonna lie. I think I have to just crack at this thing with Fatal Push. I could counter a 3-drop if I take 2 though. Like I could Fatal Push in response to Undying, counter a 3-drop. I could also just push this twice. I think I can take 2 to find out. Okay, so I can Fatal Push, and then make my own Geist. Push. Doesn't feel good, but it's the play I have. Right back. Do it again. Push it real good. Gonna copy the Geist with Valky. Probably should have done that first in case they had a removal spell that I could drown in the lock. Trophy's good. That'll answer the next big dumb idiot they play. They have a lot of basics, and there's no Eldrazi Temple in play right now, so I'm not just gonna like blast their Hashep Oasis. Endurance. Alright, that's a card I can counter. Target spell. This one. Black. Blue. I'm gonna use my Hierarchs to do it. I still can't counter this Smasher, but I can counter a Thought-Knot Seer. They would need Eldrazi Temple to cast Smasher this turn. Okay, that's pretty good. Right, if I ram my Geist into this, pretty sure I get the Valky back. And then I can steal Reality Smasher and copy it. I hope this works. But they also get their Geist back. I really hope this works the way I think it does. They found Abundant Harvest. Okay, yeah, Valky comes back. I'm going to take your Smasher. And I have 5 mana to become Reality Smasher. Nice. It's a 6/6 Smasher too. So their hand is Geist, Abundant Harvest, Ignoble Hierarch. Deal. Geist is in play. You got it. They had to take damage from their Oasis to do that. So they took another damage for Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. And I'm attacking with an 8/8 trample. If I just don't block this, I win, right? If I can make this a 5 or a 6/6 and block and just eat it. But if I just go to 7, then attack with my 6, 7, 8 trample, yeah, I think they're just dead if I don't block. Basic Swamp. Time to convert into a Smash-O. Bang. And I can even Assassin's Trophy the Hierarch if I need 1 extra point, but I don't. Their attack left them dead. Boom. That was sweet. That was the best the front half of Valky has been for me in a long time. I curved into a Monastery Mentor like the week Valky was printed when everyone was playing with it. I stole a Mentor on turn 2, copied Mentor on turn 3, and like forced to wield something, get a Monk, and just ranched. But I haven't done anything that cool in a long time. Okay, we're playing against Green Eldrazi, which are a aggressive creature deck and also an endurance deck. They don't do like big Karn stuff or anything. They're not a Tron deck of any variety. Plague Engineer has Death Touch, which could matter. Could also temporarily shrink the Eldrazi, which could matter. Liliana the Veil is going to be a banger. Bring to Light for Valky seems like exactly the type of thing I want to do. Liliana the Last Hope is medium. They do have Noble Hierarchs in their deck, but don't love it. Trophy's good. Drown's medium. If they aggressively endurance themselves, the Drown's going to be pretty bad. I think Inquisition's probably not great either. Thoughtseize can get things like Smasher and Thought-Knot Seer that are difficult to answer otherwise. Endurance doesn't line up great. It's not bad, but it doesn't line up great against what they're doing. I could put Mystical Disputes in the deck with the understanding that it's a 3-mana counterspell. It's just like cancel. I don't remember if this deck has Cavern of Souls or not. Casting Strangleroot Geist and an Eldrazi would be pretty hard with Cavern of Souls in the deck, but it's also just a pretty standard card in Eldrazi decks. So probably should not bring in my Mystical Disputes. Klothys is bigger than most Eldrazi. I don't have a whole lot of pips. I guess I have a lot of the Ignoble Hierarch, the Hierarch stuff. This is 2, 3, 4, and then I need 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not going to count on actually Clothis being a creature. Endurance goes a long way towards making that conversion. I think I do want the Endurances in the deck, just as a beefy body that can show up. Getting Ice Fang Waddle up to Death Touch would be important here. This is what I'm going to do. I don't think this is an Urza Saga deck. If it is, I'm going to wish I had the Engineered Explosives, but I don't think that it is. I really only saw it for like 1 second yesterday. I was watching Aspiring Spike stream in between Magic, not Worlds, but whatever is happening right now, the MPL Gauntlet. That's some insight into how far ahead I record. The MPL Gauntlet, it is September 4th right now. I'm sure you're going to be watching this on like September 20 something. Okay, they Abundant Harvest for a non-land and found Endurance. Deal. This is a little awkward. I think I have to fetch the Overgrown Tomb. I don't have to fetch anything yet. Cool. Yeah, I can just play Noble Hierarch. Alright, cool. Yeah, I wanted to give myself a chance at turn 2 Liliana. And playing Noble Hierarch off basic land doesn't do that. I love that this version of Eldrazi has fetch lands in it, though. Like, that's just spells in the, or things in the graveyard to You'll Drown in the Loch. Okay, I could jam Tarmogoyf. I think that sounds good. And I am going to fetch to do it, because there's not a land in the graveyard yet. I'm going to make my Goyf bigger. 4 or 5. That's bigger than Thought-Knot Seer. I'm going to get Watery Grave, because everything is a forest anyway. So I get a free Zagoth Triome. They can cast Endurance now without putting a third thing in the graveyard. If I attack, they can take instant sorcery out of the graveyard, make this a 2. So maybe I'm just supposed to... What do I do in that case? Yeah, maybe I just Shardless Agent. Let's see if we can hit a discard spell and make them act first. Another Tarmogoyf, you got it. I'll take that too. Yeah, they can make Tarmogoyf 2/3 by hitting either graveyard. Because there's currently 4 things and we each have 2. So I don't have an attack with Tarmogoyf right now. They should Endurance themselves because they've seen Drown in the Loch. Oh, they are going for me. Alright, not sure I'm in on that, but you got it. They've made it up to Thought-Knot Seer. Oh, they got the Rancor. Yeah, that's in this deck. That's great. Big fan. More. Alright. They're trying to race to turn it sideways. This is going to be a really good Liliana. Oh, and I drew Thoughtseize. That doesn't matter, though. I can't do that right now. I'm going to get a Snow Swamp. Basic Swamp. Save some damage here. Right. Put your creature in the graveyard, please. Get their Rancors back. They could have Smasher next turn, but I think I'm still winning this race. Yeah, for sure. 5 cards, 2 of them are Rancors. Their haste creature costs 5. They don't have 7 mana to nut up with Smasher. Alright, we did it. On the board. Took down Mono Green Eldrazi. Last round is on the way. On the draw in the final round, with a hand that is ready to draw Bring to Light. I'm going to keep this. This is kind of what the deck is supposed to do. Let's see if it can actually get there. Really hope we're not playing against Lava Dart. Okay, I was fetching a basic anyway, so Prismatic Vista was a good find. I have to lead on Ignoble in case I draw Liliana, because that's the black source here. I could have fetched Overgrown Tomb, I guess, to play around removal on my black source. Valky, the God of Lies. Do I want to ramp up into Valky here? Oh, I should have thought about that before I played my land. I probably needed to fetch the red source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit, yeah. Alright. I think I was supposed to play a green source there and cast Valky next turn. Fuck. I was just busy already, still thinking about what I was supposed to do and clicked my land. Okay. Ouch. Alright. My life is pain. They Furied, pitched Fury. Okay. There's some sort of rug deck. Alright, there. I wonder if this is just elementals or if this is like the Cascade crazy deck. I'm gonna fetch a Overgrown Tomb here. Time to get my real mana set up now that my fake mana got Furied. I will say I played around Fury perfectly by playing my land drop too quick. Another Fury and some Seasoned Pyros. I'm gonna take the Seasoned Pyro. Yeah, if they want to pitch Seasoned Pyromancer to Fury and clean up this board again, I don't know. This is not a good matchup. Yeah, they pitch Chancellor of the Forge. Okay, so this has to be the combo deck. Other hand is 2 Seasoned Pyromancers. That's dangerous, and I'm out of juice. Bummer. This was the most explosive mana we had. We were pretty close to hard casting a very early Valky, and just did not do any of that instead. I'm going to leave the Triomes in the deck, because if I draw them, I want to be able to cycle them. I have a lot of black, so I'm going to get a second blue. Maybe I'll draw Jace right now and get to do stuff. Shardless Agent. Let's go. Pass it off 3 basics. Thoughtseize, yep. Other hand a little while ago. Let's see what it looks like now. More Seasoned Pyromancers. Another Fury. I'll take Seasoned Pyromancer. Alright, if they just keep missing land drops forever, we got a chance. Gotta keep drawing spells while they keep drawing lands. I'm gonna hang this out there for them. Go ahead, Fury it. That is still... I'm still up a card on that exchange because I got the Thoughtseize for free. They're gonna 2-for-2 me now, but this one of these already 2-for-1'd. Alright, now they can Seasoned Pyromancer and start doing stuff. Discarded Chancellor and Provisioner. Fury pitching Omnath. Okay. Alright. The third Fury. Time to draw Bring to Light. Fatal Push. A little late. Yeah, I'll just hold on to this Fatal Push. They're pretty... like, they just need a Cascade spell to put Glimpse on the stack. I'm gonna just push one of these right away. That adds a turn to the clock. Another Provisioner. Yeah, they might not even need to combo if they find it. Probably better if they don't. Bummer. Fury, huh? At least 3 in the main. That's gonna be tough. Oh wow, they're going for it. Alright, let's watch this Glimpse of Tomorrow go off. I am F6'd. Oh, they just put a bunch of lands into play? Really? That's all you got? That's about as bad as that could possibly go. Do you have another one? Do. Okay. Keep it going then. Another Glimpse. This one hit some Dark Dwellers and some Wave Sifters. I am going to let them click through this. I want to see, just for my own research, what's in their deck. I also want to see what their win con is, how they make this happen. Because I played this deck on the channel a few weeks ago. Go check it out. It was awesome. And I 4-1'd with the deck. And the only games and matches that I lost were when I couldn't stack my triggers and ended up timing out as a result. Also, there's a Moto bug involved in this deck, which is that it doesn't know how to... Moto doesn't know how to resolve Omnath when multiple Omnaths and multiple lands come into play at the same time. Let's just see where this goes. That's a lot of Tireless Provisioner triggers. Tireless Provisioner is cool. That wasn't in my build. I also decked myself by accident in one of the games that I played. Deck's hard. Real weird, real hard. Extra hard to navigate on Magic Online where you have to actually stack and click your triggers. I am not going to concede this. I'm going to give them lots of opportunities to mess up. Another Glimpse off a Dark Dweller is coming. Okay, here's the Omnath thing that Magic Online does wrong. I should just die to Omnath triggers here. Let's see if they fixed it. Oh wait, no, they only have one Omnath, and this is many triggers from the same Omnath, so no, I shouldn't just die to Omnath here. What Magic Online does wrong is that if you hit 2 Omnaths and 3 lands, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get a draw trigger, a gain trigger, a mana trigger, and a damage trigger off each of the Omnaths, even though you have to choose the legend rule and put one of them in the graveyard before those triggers resolve. You're still supposed to get one of each of Omnath's triggers, but Magic Online doesn't see the Omnath that's still in play, and you just gain 4 life for all of the triggers. So you could gain like 100 life off 25 triggers, which should only happen once, and you'll never do any damage, even though you're supposed to. It's a little messed up. It looks like this person's build accounted for that a little bit, though, with just 1 Omnath. But they're down to 4 cards in their deck, and there's a Seasoned Pyromancer trigger on the stack. Maybe more than 1. See if they're dead. Yeah, I see 3 Seasoned Pyromancers in play and 4 cards in their deck. Did you die? Yeah, I'm seeing 4 cards in their deck, and they're about to draw 7 cards between Omnath and the 3 Seasoned Pyromancers. If they have an Endurance somewhere in their deck or hand that could tuck some cards on the way through, that works. But otherwise, I think they're about to die. I think they're about to spend a lot of time putting these triggers on the stack and then lose. They've managed to get all their triggers onto the stack. Now we find out if they have an Endurance in the deck, or what the win con is here. They're cracking all their fetch lands. Not sure why. They're just trying to burn themselves out before they have to resolve all these triggers. It's a clock trick. Or they're putting the fetch lands in the graveyard so the Endurance in their hand can tuck them all. We'll see. They're making a lot of mana with treasures. If they have Endurance, they'll easily be able to play it. They also stack the Omnath draw trigger before the Seasoned Pyromancers, so now there's an odd number of cards in their deck. If there is an Endurance and it's their bottom card, they could still lose here. I guess that's not true. They have clues. They could draw exactly their deck at will. Never mind. If there's an Endurance in their deck, they're going to win. Oh god, they Violent Outbursted in response to all these draw triggers. They're trying to glimpse again. Okay. Around and around we go. They're determined to time out in game 1. I guess I'll check back in with all of you viewers at the other end of this. Certainly not going to make you watch it. They're midway through stacking their triggers on this second gigantic endgame glimpse, and they have Goblin Dark Dwellers targeting a 3rd. I think they would have done better this game simply attacking with the young pyro or the old Pyromancer and tokens that they had in play and just making me dead. This has gone completely insane. So they have found the line. I'm at 2, and they have all their draw triggers buried in this giant stack. And when they flip this Omnath back into play a 3rd time, that will generate 4 damage to kill me. It's cool that they've found a way to build the deck with 1 Omnath, since Magic Online doesn't need to know what to do with 2 of them. I'm not sure if that's the best way to build the deck or just what you have to do because of Moto. But it is cool that they've done it. I probably could and should concede here. I think I just have to give them one more chance to stack their triggers wrong. But I don't think they did. It is occasionally frustrating, but the Magic Online chess clock is part of the game when you're playing online. They appear to have stacked their triggers correctly. I can't even check the stack because every time they put something on the stack, Magic Online snaps me back to the top of it, and I can't scroll through it to see if there are any draw triggers still buried in there. But I think the actual stack has all of the draw triggers on it already, and they're just stacking up Omnaths right now. Yeah, I can back this up. They're doing it correctly. All right, I'll concede. We have time for more games. If this were a PTQ or something, if I was playing on my own, just grinding points without recording content, maybe I don't concede there. Maybe they just time out, but I am totally fine conceding when I see that I'm dead IRL, or for a lot of reasons. Okay. Thoughtseize and Inquisition seem pretty good here. Plague Engineer, naming, what are their creatures? Their creatures are basically all elementals. Are any of them X1s? And the Seasoned Pyromancer tokens are X1s. I think that's it. Endurance can mess up a Goblin Dark Dwellers refire. Yeah, I don't think I have time for Ancestral Visions. I don't think I have time for Clothis either. What am I even reaching for here? What do I have time for? The Mystical Dispute's important because that can hit the glimpse. Endurance can beef up. Liliana, the Last Hope, is not important. Liliana the Veil seems okay. Fatal Push does not seem particularly important. I don't mind going for Valky. Oh, this was It was so long ago, I almost forgot. This is the deck with a million Furies in it. I'm going to shave some of my Hierarchs for just beefier stuff. I guess I do want the Plague Engineers in, just because Hierarch is so bad. So that doesn't really matter, because Fury does 4. Like, even if I curve Hierarch up into Plague Engineer, they can just kill that too. Yikes. Yeah, I think I just want my points of interaction and try to win the game. They definitely don't have time to combo out again, so they have to beat me fair. And I wonder if they're going to sideboard like that, or if they're going to just combo off and expect me to concede. Whatever, I'm keeping this great hand. They had a Chancellor to start the game, so they got a Gobbo. I'm going to get my Watery Grave? Not Watery Grave, Overground Tomb. The one that casts my Hierarch. Drown in the Lock counters the Glimpse no matter what. That's pretty cool. Because it does not have a mana value. Well, it has a mana value of 0, because it doesn't have a casting cost. Playing Tarmogoyf does not help here. I could Valky, check their hand for Fury, or I could just play Endurance. I'm just going to ship it. I'm not going to block this Goblin with Endurance, because that gives them Fury to clear my board. I just want to flash in the Endurance end step and start attacking them. Here's Endurance. I target nobody. I want my Tarmogoyf to have some power and toughness when it arrives. Bring Delight. Getting closer. Endurance attack for 4. Gonna play Tarmogoyf. This is enough meat that Fury doesn't clear my board. And it's still good, but it's not a full clear. Cracking their fetch land. Can't imagine this deck pivoting into Blood Moon, but I guess it's possible. There's now 2 cards in their graveyard for Drown. He's in Pyromancer. There's now 4 cards in their graveyard for Drown. It's good. Started 2 Chancellors. And Goyf is a 2/3. I'm going to get my Triome in the end step here. The Zagoth variety. Liliana. That taps me out of Drown in the Lock, which I think is a more important card right now. I can Valky. If I Valky, I can still drown off these 2. Let's get a look at that hand. See what we're working with. If I can strip a Fury, that would be great. Shardless Agent, Dark Dealer, Seasoned Pyromancer, Brazen Borrower. I think I want to take the Shardless Agent. Or do I even care about that? Because I don't really want them to be playing fair. Because I have their unfair plan kind of covered. Yeah, I want to take Seasoned Pyromancer. And I have a 2/3 and a 3/4. Attack with my 3/4. It'll eat their whole board if they block due to Exalted. Jumping. Deal. Only Guard makes a plant token. I'm going to go for Shardless Agent. Just going to cast Glimpse, which I'm going to drown. Counter target spell version. Blue, black. Shardless Agent's in play now. This Goyf, the Endurance, Goyf's 4/5 now. Doing pretty good on the unfair side. Inquisition. Get another peek. I'm going to take the Brazen Borrower. I can't take Dark Dwellers, unfortunately. That's what I actually want here. I'll take Brazen Borrower. And attack for 5. Yeah, if they are holding a land, so they actually just have Brazen Borrower's Refire right now. If they go for it. But if they go for it, they're not going to be able to click through this combo in 3 minutes, so I think I'm pretty covered. Unless they have some dope sideboard strat that wins a lot quicker, but not sure what that would look like. Oh, they chose not to play it. They know they can't do it in 3 minutes. Either that or it was a misclick. Either way, I'll take it. Cool. Now I can Bring Delight. Finally, here in the last game of the last round, I get to do the thing the deck is for. Okay, here we go. Bring Delight with 3 colors. Valky. Cast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter. And sell the top card of both players' libraries. Thoughtseize and Dark Dwellers. Can't cast those ones. Just going to pass a turn here. They have a bunch of tokens to block with. If I get Valky set up, that's something I can do. Or if I keep Tibalt in play, that'll eventually win the game. I know there's a glimpse in their hand. Oh, they just suspended it. All right. Oh, okay. Looks like it's glimpse time. Like, ready or not, here we go. They declined to cast the glimpse. Oh no, did they board some of them out? They just revealed their whole deck. Yeah, that's what just happened. Yeah, they're just not trying to glimpse. They're trying to win fair. There's a glimpse on the stack, so they're going to time out in a couple turns here. Dial the top card of each player's library. Valky can go off next turn. Dark Dwellers can cast Drown in the Lock. That's pretty cool. I'll play my Watery Grave. Tapped. I can Dark Dwellers drown and kill, what, their Dark Dwellers? But also Liliana and Ace Waddle. Black. Black. Green. Liliana. I'm just going to try to work their board down. I can flash in the Quaddle if I need to, but I don't actually need to win this game. I just need to not lose it for 2 minutes. Visioner, you got it. Still don't have attacks because Tarmogoyf is huge. Quaddle in the end step. On Jace. So Valky, or exile all graveyards, add red, red, red. Let's do it. LFG. This makes Tarmogoyf a 0-1 briefly, but I can cast all of these cards from both players' graveyards now. My land drop with their Misty Rainforest. I have red, red, red. I can cast do I want to cast Chancellor of the Forge? That rules. Alright, yeah. We're memeing now. Chancellor of the Forge is in. And don't really want to plus Liliana, unfortunately. Okay, they conceded. Alright. Valky did Valky stuff. I don't think they had a path to win this game anyway. Like, I'm a much better fair deck than them, and they don't have time for their unfair plan. But did just beat them. IRL, though, they did decline to cast a Glimpse of Tomorrow that they could have. And I think in real life they would have gone off. But this is Magic Online, kids. Oh, there's a game 3. LOL. I forgot about that. I'm just, like, doing my wrap-up already. Yeah, okay, so they have 2 minutes to win a game 3. I'm going in with the same deck. I'm going to keep this. It has Drown for the Glimpse. They have a Chancellor. Only Garden. They can beat down Magabo, though. It does have haste. I'm going to play my Verdant Catacombs and fetch for the Zagoth Triome. I can Mystical Dispute something off Watery Grave if I have to this turn. I'm not sure what that would be. What blue 2-drop am I worried about? It's certainly not that. Yeah, they can have that. I'm going to fetch my Triome. Ignoble Hierarch. I think I should shock in. Yeah, I want to represent the Drown. Okay, Shardless Agent. Glimpse. Drown. Take care of that. Land was a great draw. And I can play Ignoble Hierarch. And I'm holding up Assassin's Trophy or Mystical Dispute. Maybe I'm supposed to Shardless Agent there. Maybe I'm just supposed to hold up Dispute there. Okay. I'm going to Trophy the Agent or the Provisioner at the end of the turn. I don't love ramping them, but I also don't love getting beat down when they have 1 minute on their clock. Position's nice. Show me what you're working with. He's in Pyromancer. Fury and Chancellor over there. That's a little bit scary. Okay, I'm gonna pass the turn and hold up hardcast Mystical Dispute. I really don't want to get just cheesed out by Fury. I expect them to hardcast one of these creatures now. This is the one I'm worried about. I can Assassin's Trophy that one and counter the other one. I'm taking 3 here. Trophy this flyer. Inquisition, are you helpful? You're not helpful. Oh wait, I know their whole hand. That was terrible. That was awful. Alright. I thought they drew a card in between, but it was the land that they already played. Yeah, if they hardcast Fury, I Mystical Dispute. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit, they can actually cast the Chancellor next turn. I might lose this game by a damage race. Tarmogoyf, Shardless Agent, or I could... Yeah, I'm going to Shardless Agent. Drown in the Lock, yeah. Destroy target creature. Take out the Shardless Agent. And hope they don't draw a mana source for their Chancellor. Jesus. Oh, they drew another Fury. Okay. That creature does have double strike. They get to attack for 1 here. Oh, they had the mana source. Wasn't that lethal? Or are they just... It's already lethal next turn and they don't need to do that? Huh. What is the play here? I think I have to just flood the board and hope that they can't click through this in 21 seconds. I think I'm losing. Curse my honesty. Yeah, if I just let them click for another 7 seconds or so in the first game, I win. But I was honest and I lost for it. Okay, I mean, GG's. I'm not going to feel bad for letting a match reach its natural conclusion, though in a PTQ, they would have lost that game. Let's review this deck. The Mana Dork thing was pretty cool. Like, when you do get to explode, you get to play this low land count, you draw a lot of spells as a result. All that's pretty cool. There is a giant problem, which we ran into in the last round, that Fury is a card that gets played in this format. Lava Dart is a card that gets played in this format. Just, there are problems to Mana Dorks fundamentally in the format, and this deck is not set up at all to board them out to sidestep it, like some other decks are. Like, you could play, like, Heliod Company without your Mana Dorks. Just board them out, make Lava Dart awkward, and just play on a normal curve rather than trying to jump the curve. This deck does not get to do that. The Bring the Light, it showed up once. It was pretty good that one time. It was, like, I get what we're trying to do, which is turbo out of Bring to Light, but if we are trying to do that, I feel like we should have more of them. You don't need more Valkyries, but maybe have 4 Bring to Lights, replace the Jace, replace the Liliana the Last Hope maybe, or one of the Veils. If we're trying to do this, let's do it. Just having some of them around wasn't great. I don't love 2 Triumphs in the deck. That's still a problem. We mulliganed a lot because of the low land count in the deck, and having such a low land count plus a bunch of the lands don't cast Ignoble Hierarch is a problem to me. I would cut probably the Zagoth Triumph. I think Ketria being able to have red mana on the splash or occasionally hard cast a Tibalt if the game goes long, I think that value is higher than having all your colors on a single Triumph. Because if you're cutting Zagoth Triumph, you could add another dual land. This also feels like a lot of basics for what we're trying to do here. And turning on Icefang Coatl is relevant with the basics. I get what we're doing there, but I think that if you're playing a land count this low, I definitely mulliganed at least one hand that was like Forest, Noble Hierarch, black cards, which is not something you can really afford to mess around with. So I would change the Zagoth Triome to another dual land, keep the Ketria Triome. The Engineered Explosives, I think Chalice of the Void might be a better card in that spot. And Explosives does different things, but if we're trying to respect, like, one of the main things, so there's 2 sources of tokens in the format, and they are primarily Urza Saga and Crash of Rhinos, and Chalice of the Void gets the Crash plus random bullshit. I guess we're never going to cast Chalice on any number other than 0 with this deck, so maybe Explosives is still better. Obviously would have preferred it be Chalice against the Glimpse deck we just played against, but hopefully that's a fringe player. Living End is a big player in the metagame, though, and Chalice is better against that. So you're kind of dancing around between, like, do I want to answer Saga and Crash, or Crash and Living End and maybe Glimpse in the second tier? So tune your sideboard for your meta, I guess is what I'm saying there. Klothys did come up. We lost the game, it came up, but it was about to be really good if we hadn't lost on the turn where it was really good. The one Ancestral Vision, I boarded it in once and hit it immediately off a Shardless Agent, so obviously in love with that. I think this is the refund from another league that went poorly. I submitted some bug reports earlier today and just got refunded for it. Okay, back to the point. This was mostly a mid-range bug deck. I was honestly surprised how close to mid-range bug it felt, since it has, like, such a crazy mana base and the Bring Delights, but a lot of the games just ended up being black green X mid range with Liliana and discard and Tarmogoyfs and shit. Like, this is a Jund deck that just has a weird mana base for a big payoff. And I get that the point of the deck is to jump ahead with Hierarchs and do stuff, but I think you will win more or have a better time if you have just 4 Hierarchs and 4 more, like 3 more lands and another spell in the deck, or even just 4 more lands in the deck. I think the stability of the mid-range bug Jund style is kind of the point. And having a deck that's built to win a mid-range top deck war, but also has these bad top decks in the Mana Dorks and bad early draws in Bring Delight, sort of is at odds with the rest of your plan of being a fair mid-range Sultai deck. A little disjointed, but I can see what's going on here, and all of our losses were close. Okay, like, we went 1-4 in the league, but let's walk back through it. We lost against Jund when they were dead on board. The Affinity matchup, it came down to 2 life points, or 1 life point, because they attacked me for 2 when I was at 2. Like, if I had 1 more life point somewhere that game, would have won that one. I don't remember everything we played against, but the combo deck, I think they were winning pretty handily if you ignore the clock. But I think we were losing that one for sure. But there were no like absolute slaughters. Oh, look, another refund. That's fun. There were no absolute slaughters. We did play a mid-range interactive game of matches of Modern, and it was a lot of fun. So if you're into that, this is a cool way to do it. I wouldn't push the Mana Dork thing quite so hard. I like hitting my land drops. I like knowing that I'm going to cast my spells. I like being able to avoid Fury if Fury is going to be a thing. Like, all those are things that I value, but I can see the appeal of this. And thank you, Rob, for sharing it with me. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the links below for Patreon, YouTube membership, BoshNRoll merch, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time.